Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Joining me today is Sriram Seshadri. He was busy last weekend, so we could make it last weekend. So here's back today. We are going to talk about caste census, good, bad, or ugly, and why is it that the people who wanted it are now not so sure anymore. Let's welcome Sriram Seshadri, and there are more topics also to discuss. Sriramji, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel. Sir, how are you?
Sir, namaskaram, sir. I am doing extremely good. And namaskaram to PGurus viewers. Unfortunately, when I say extremely good, mentally sad too after the Pahalgam incident.
Yes.
That definitely shook every Indian's conscience, or even any human being's conscience. Forget about Indians. Any human being conscience. Still, life has to go on.
Absolutely, sir. Sriramji, yesterday I was at Kriya Mahotsav conference, and I was the lead-in for the session yesterday, and I had requested the audience to, spend 1 minute of silence for the victims of Pahalgam, and there only we started it. It's really heart-rending, and I also am a little bit disappointed and disheartened by the wokeism mindset that prevails in India, where, something you need to be able to see your way clear through an act. An act is an act and done by somebody, and that's whom you should target rather, do something else. Very, very disappointing. I don't want to go into examples. You know, I know, viewers know what I'm talking about.
That's right.
So viewers, please first like this video. Caste census, sir, I was one of the few. I'm going to play a video of a shorts, actually 1 minute shorts. I have to pull it up, where I had said this is a brilliant move if BJP incorporates caste census into the caste into the census, and that's what they did. So at least somebody has put in some thought as to why I was saying that. This was like several months ago. I'll play that shorts in a short while, sir. Let's get going. Floor is yours.
Sure. See, when Rahul Gandhi started talking about caste census, I was one of the biggest critic of I want to use the word critic of the caste census because of the nefarious motive that Rahul Gandhi has. His idea is divide the Hindus by caste, unite the minorities by religion. That is, and that will be Rahul Gandhi's idea. It is typically playing from the communist CCP's playbook. And then I use this word CCP's playbook because I'm going to correlate that to the Pahalgam incident and then, aftermath of whatever is happening. Some of the conspiracy thinking that many people have. So definitely I want to use that. So at the same time, 2011 census had the column to include the caste of when we are doing the census. 2010, Manmohan Singh told in the parliament that 2011 census will include caste information also. But then what happened? They made it voluntary and not mandatory. And then 2013-14 timeframes, Karnataka came up with a caste census, and then they did their own survey, etc. And, they didn't use it to any extent for almost 10 years. Until Siddaramaiah was in power, never even revealed what is a pattern of it. Then during run-up to 2024 election, Rahul Gandhi picked this team and then said, hey, caste census is a need, and then we need to remove all the reservation and then give the, based on the percentage of people, we need to give the reservation quota based on the population. That is where Rahul Gandhi was trying to divide the nation. Number one, Rahul Gandhi's theme is nothing to do with merit. Forget about merit. Of course, within that caste, there will be a merit because, people who had got more score and all those stuff, within that caste, they'll get it. But today, what happens is Supreme Court in the Mandal Commission case, and, they have just clearly, mandated the reservation cannot exceed 49.5% Indira Shani case. And then only Tamil Nadu managed to do an enactment and then put it under Schedule 9, And Supreme Court has been sleeping over it for several decades, that they have been saying that Schedule 9 cannot protect unconstitutional statutes. But as far as today, under Schedule 9, Tamil Nadu alone has a 69% reservation. What was the logic that was done during 69% reservation? By increasing the 20% for reservation, they increase the number of seats by 20% too. And that was a logic that was given. And then, end of the day, it is still 69% reservation, right? So the quantum of general category reservation still remains, or general category available seats available for general category still remains, at least in paper, may not be in practical scenario. So Rahul Gandhi's idea of caste census was to do away with merit, do away with someone who actually, if people who belong to the SC, ST or OBC perform better than the lot, they come to the open quota where they fight with the general category people, including FCs or whatever. And then, they get more than the share of their reservation. So it is not that the reservation does not mean that OBC or SC, ST are limited to that percentage alone. But what Rahul Gandhi wants to do now, he wants to limit it. So why? Because he doesn't want the socially downtrodden SC, STs to come up. And in some cases, OBCs to come up. Forget about it. The general category is about 15% population across the country. And then, you're going to give, and within that subcaste, so let's say the most abused caste is a Brahmin, and then they say 2.5%. Fair enough, because none of the general category or forward caste are opposing this caste census, because at least then they will get a reservation. For sure, a reservation. Today, there is no reservation for them. But what Rahul Gandhi wants is divide the Hindus by caste. So that form of caste census, definitely I was a huge critic. And then what did Modi do? Modi announced, or rather Ashwini Vaishnav announced, that 2026 census will include caste census also. And then they just passed for 24 hours. Didn't say the details of it. So Rahul Gandhi's and his social media handles and Jairam Ramesh, everybody was jumping, saying that it's a victory. We forced government to accept our long-term requirement of caste census, blah 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 blah. And then here are 50 more demands that I have. That remove the barrier on the reservation, the top highest percentage of reservation, remove that, and then it should be 100% reserved based on the caste. Okay, then what will you do for the minorities? Suppose if you have to give the reservation based on caste, no problem. What about the minorities? No minority organization has asked this question to Rahul Gandhi at this point in time, because according to him, he says no reservation cap of 49.5% as per the Supreme Court Constitutional Bench in Indira Shani case. He says 100% based on the population and based on the caste. So does it mean that minorities don't get any seat at all, reservation at all? Minorities don't get it. So these are some of the questions, uncomfortable questions Rahul Gandhi will run away if someone asked him. Okay, now what the government has done is 24 hours later, they said, yes, the caste details will be collected, but not only for Hindus, but for Muslims, and also for Christians or any other minority community. We'll take that. And then they added one silent statement which made everybody to go quiet. And then probably Rahul Gandhi will be thinking, why the hell did I celebrate in too soon? The silent statement was, we will use this caste-based census to determine the minority status, which means the religion and caste-based data are going to be used to define whether one belongs to minority or not. For example, in Northeast, Christian population is about 90+%. And if you look at West Bengal, Muslim population somewhere close to 20%. If you take Tamil Nadu, the Christian population is close to about 20%, but they are all in the hiding in the Hindu name because they convert themselves, but on record they remain Hindu. Yes, sir.
Sriramji, Andhra Pradesh High Court has ruled that once you do conversion, you lose your benefits, reservation benefits. This has just come 2 days ago.
Sir, Supreme Court has ruled it about a year back on a person from Pondicherry. Filed a case, they said that if you convert to Christianity or any other religion, you lose the caste benefit provided under the Constitution. So it is there, but whether it is implemented or not is a question, because on record, these people remain as Hindus and they belong to the same caste, but they have converted themselves, and then they actually practice Christianity. I don't think that happens much on Islam, but Christianity, definitely the conversion is a big drive. So when you take all these data, maybe in Tamil Nadu, Christians won't be a minority. In Northeast, Christians won't be the minority. In fact, Hindus will become minority. And in West Bengal, Muslims will no longer be minority. And in Uttar Pradesh, about 17% minority population, they will no longer be a minority. So what Rahul Gandhi has done by shouting on top of the voice and all, is something that the minority will keep in mind when they actually is definitely the Congress is using them as a pawn for vote bank alone, but not for anything else. But when it comes to the caste census, why this is a brilliant move, even now, as long as it is used only for the reservation purposes and then policy making purposes, I'm good with that, but not the idea of Rahul Gandhi's caste census, where his main intention was to divide the Hindus by caste, unite the minorities by religion. And now he has to eat a humble pie and then say that, caste difference or caste distinctions do have, exist in Islam. There are about 800 castes in Islam. By chance, do people know? There are equal number of castes in Christianity. So, and it's not, people will argue that this caste, concept was only in India. I'm talking about 800 different castes in Islam is not in India. It's world over. Caste distinctions in Christianity is not in India alone. It's world over. So they have been fooling all these people, especially the missionaries who were trying to divide the Hindus by caste and then discrimination and everything, are actually suppressing the fact that, in their own religion, there is a caste differences exist, and then caste equations are different. And that is where, this caste census is going to prove a lot. When someone look at it, there is going to be a Dalit Christian. That is going to be a major factor that is going to play. And then, then their narrative setting will take a backseat. I think, that in that perspective, I personally welcome the caste census as a masterstroke Sree Iyer App. But other than that, what the idea of Congress, idea of Rahul Gandhi, the divisive narrative of Rahul Gandhi is where I was vehemently opposing. And the moment the caste census happens for everybody, I think that is why all the Congress people have gone silent once Ashwini Vaishnav, after 24-hour pass, announced the masterstroke, right? I think I'll leave with that thought for our viewers to mule upon.
Thank you, sir. And 1 year ago, when this thing was first mooted by Rahul Gandhi, I wholesomely welcomed it. Here is the shorts on that. Lay on the front foot. Well, the opposition, the INDI alliance, is asking for a caste-based census, right? Not only should you add caste information, but add several fields. For example, list all the categories that are available under scheduled caste and scheduled tribe and find out which specific subcaste or sub-classification or tribe that the person belongs to. If it is OBC, again, list all the OBCs and capture the information accurately. Along the way, also find out whether they have proof of birth of having been born in India. that will set the cat among the pigeons. Make an announcement. Say that, yes, we are considering adding caste, subcaste, tribe, OBC information, as well as birth information in the census coming up this month. Just see how quickly they'll say, no, we don't want this, we don't want this. That's what you need to do. Play on the front foot.
I think, sir, I want to bring our audience to, maybe many of them know, or, I even talked about it in some places. On OBCs, this was done, actually, what you are saying in the census. OBCs, this was done using a Rohini commission. It is a judicial commission formed, and then Rohini commission report. Only interim report has been out, and then final report we have been waiting for at least almost nearly a decade. Still not yet out. But the interim report content was fabulous. It said there are about 2,700 subcategories within the OBC, and there is a 27% reservation for OBCs. 25% reservation. I'm not talking about 25% of 27, the overall 27%, but 25%, that portion, that is major chunk, is being enjoyed by less than 100 subcategories. 900 subcategories of OBC get the 2%. Nearly 1,600 subcategory have not got the benefit of the reservation after nearly couple of decades, right? That is the reality. Even in the SC/ST category, I think the reservation, it becomes a very, very big emotional topic for so many people. It's not because I'm a Brahmin, I don't have a reservation, and hence I'm opposing it. I'm opposing it in a sense that what is the purpose of reservation? The reservation is to bring someone who's in the downtrodden to come up, okay? And then, all these social justice warriors would say, oh, their suppression need to be coming out. By just giving, so that, they get educated, they become government employees, they succeed in life, so that, whatever they are marginalized, they come up in life. But the same set of people are not allowing their own brethren to come up. At 2 generations, 3 generations, people have actually become a UPSC, IAS, IPS officers. Their kith and kin using the benefit become an IAS, IPS officers. But they don't allow their own brethren to come up in life. They want certain set of people, whoever got the benefit, get the benefit more and more and more. In fact, this is a voice that has come up from the OBC community. Imagine 2,600 subcategories of OBCs have not benefited even 1% of the reservation that is given to them. And that is where the flaw in the reservation system. I think that, it's high time after the census, all these topics would come up, and then people will, start talking about it and then say, why am I not getting my benefits, etc. I think if that paves way, that will be very, very good for the nation. It will combine the reservation for people who didn't have an opportunity plus a merit concept. I think that is what, we should head to for a healthy community, a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades down the line.
Thank you so much, sir. And viewers, we're going to have a couple more topics to discuss. And before that, I wanted to let you all know that I just released a musical. This is the first time you're doing something like this, full musical, where we have also tried animation. I hope some of you, or many of you, or all of you have watched it. But here's a teaser for that. Do watch it after this program. We'll try to include the link in the description section also. Here we go.
awesome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So those of you who are connoisseurs of music, you can guess this rag was used in one fantastic song that A.R. Rahman composed. I'll leave it at that. Let me see how many of you are going to get the right answer. I think the song came in Tamil for sure, maybe Telugu, and I don't know if it came in other languages. This is a very, very beautiful song that he composed. Shuddha Sarang was the rag that was used, and I'll let you guys guess the answer. Now, go to the next topic. Airspace closure. Whom does it hurt most, India or Pakistan?
So I think aftermath of Pahalgam, there are a lot of actions taken by government of India. In fact, many of us personally, emotionally want much more firm and action. I'm sure that government of India knows far better than, and the wise counsels of our military strategist knows far better than any one of us as a common man. Our emotions definitely are far high, but they know what is happening. We'll talk about that in the subsequent topic also. But one important aspect: first, Pakistan announced that they are closing the airspace for any airlines going to India or any airlines, Indian airlines registered in India. And of course, India reciprocated with saying that we closed down the airspace for Pakistan Airlines also. Any airline that goes to Pakistan, we close the airspace. So what happens because of this? Who is a big loser? Sure, because the number of aircrafts that is being flying from Indian capitals like Delhi and Mumbai predominantly. I'm not going to take Madras, Hyderabad, and Bangalore because more or less you don't touch. Most of the time, you don't touch the Pakistani airspace, and we go via the Arabian Sea to the Gulf countries. But Mumbai and Delhi and West Bengal, if there are any from Calcutta, I'm talking about the major cities. It touches the Pakistani airspace most of the time, and India has to divert it or reroute it, and because of that, what is a loss for us is nearly about $3 million per day in our cost of operating or the fuel cost, which means the tickets or prices are going to go up. $3 million per month, not day. Sorry. So it's going to go up slightly for our air traffic users. But what is a loss for Pakistan is about the same amount of money, nearly about at least $9 to $10 million of the airspace usage fee that would go to Pakistan. Almost $1 million per month they are going to lose. So what is the impact of it? Okay, sorry, I made a confusion. It is not month, it is a day. Somewhere around the day. So what is the loss compared to a GDP? See, because normally when you talk about in absolute terms, this is going to be a significant amount. But what is the loss when it comes to a GDP percentage? For India, it is less than 0.01% loss. Because our size of the economy is so big, so large, that our impact is less than 0.01%. But for Pakistan, the routing cost, additional cost to route through when they want to go to the eastern countries, say for example Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, etc., and the loss of airspace usage fee is about 2% of their GDP. Nearly a 2% of their GDP. Because their GDP size is about 300 billion or less than that, right? So for them, the loss is about nearly a 2%. Yes, sir.
Cut off one's own nose to spite the face.
Exactly. So by doing a denying airspace for Indian aircrafts by Pakistan, they actually lost more than what India lost. Definitely India, only the Delhi onwards, whatever the flights going from Delhi, is a major impacted because it just flies through Pakistan, but now they need to route it slightly above Pakistan and then get into the Himalayan range and then, go directly into Russia or, the erstwhile Russian, USSR, route, or they need to take a full circuitous route below Pakistan and then get into Gulf. But if anybody was interested in observing that, go to 𝗤𝗏𝗏 app and then observe that all of a sudden Pakistan airspace become empty, near empty, because there's no flight other than flights flying into Pakistan is actually, I was just observing for the peak hour time. Yes, sir.
That means you can hit anyone anytime, no problem of any collisions.
Exactly. Exactly. And moreover, you don't have to give any early warning for missile attack also, because that is what it has enabled. And all the Indian flights, especially from Chennai, Bangalore and Hyderabad, doesn't touch Pakistan airspace at all. Mumbai used to, but Mumbai also quick diversion is possible without major impact to their routing. So only place where it is impacted is at Delhi and in and around Delhi, that, whichever airport that is using, which uses the Pakistan airspace. Of course, number of flights that Pakistan bound flights to eastern part of the country world are limited. But nevertheless, what Pakistan's main source of income on air traffic was using the usage fee of their airspace. I think that is where they are more hit. And naturally, flights bound to India, the other countries' carriers also started avoiding the Pakistan airspace. Through that also, forget about just the Indian airlines, the Indian registered airlines fee, but even the foreign registered airlines don't want to use Pakistan airspace. Probably a small nudge would have come from Minister of External Affairs to reroute it. So end of the day, Pakistan is the biggest loser. But when you go to the social media of some of the Pakistan handles, right, it is very hilarious to watch that, it's a masterstroke from Pakistan. India lost as if, they will. That's why I put a percentage calculation, viewers. It's not the volume. Volume, if you look at it, 36 million a month is a huge number, right? But when you look at it and percentage of your GDP, it is very, very insignificant. That's why I just wanted to leave that thought with everybody, saying that some decisions, in Tamil there used to be a 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏 joke saying that some decision taken by our opponents are beneficial to us. That's a transliteration literally, but that's where the closure of Pak and India airspace, it actually is going to hurt the economy of Pakistan more. In fact, their products are going to get impacted because we close the sea route also. So which means they need to take a very circuitous sea route to get their products, very circuitous sea route for their commercial aircrafts or especially cargo aircraft to bring the products. Actually, Pakistan's anything that is any garments that is flowing from Bangladesh to Pakistan has to take a big circuitous route, right? Their textile cost is going to go up. Many of their other product costs, including electronics cost, which comes from Taiwan and other places, need to take a circuitous route, and it is going to go. So these are indirect impact on their economy and their inflation. But I just talked about only the direct cost with respect to what Pakistan is going to suffer because of this.
So getting back to that song that I was asking you for, a couple of hints. This is not one ragam in that song. It's from the movie Tenali. And that I just wanted to tell you that. And there are two parts. I mean, Rahman or any music composer, they will not stay within the bounds of the ragam. They'll go outside just to enhance the music, the musicality of it. And that's what Rahman did too. So go back and listen to that song. There's only one song worth noticing in that. There's a duet. Something like that. Swasame. Just take a look at it, listen to the song, and you'll see the parallels. Because the second part of that song is also used in the same musical that I introduced in this one. So you will get the full impact of how beautiful Hindustani Carnatic music is, and why we are going after, a reduced, redacted version of Western music. They have only 12 notes in an octave. We have 22. Come on now, we are rich. Anyway, just wanted to put that thing out there. You should understand both musics to see the difference between the two. Now, China is egging India, or is China firing over the shoulder of Pakistan to try and create problems in India? They've been trying everything. Manipur was having some problem there, Bangladesh, and now Pakistan. So India has taken some defensive measures. For example, India is watching the Arabian Sea, not letting anything come in or go out without their knowledge. Also, Israel went and took care of a shipment of ammunition and arms from China into Iran, taken out at the Bandar Abbas airport. In fact, sir, this is amazing. They did not touch the Chinese vessel.
Yeah.
They waited for entire cargo to be offloaded into the warehouse. Then took out the warehouse. Imagine, because they would have planned out the thing, right? Even as it's coming in, they would have they have barely minutes, because it comes in, these guys have to take inventory, of course, and in that time they took out the entire cargo. I mean, you got to give it to the Israelis. So is China trying to do something through Pakistan, and if so, how successful they be? By the way, viewers, another story that has not been substantiated yet, I put it out immediately when it happened. The air defense system that was there on Lahore airport was taken out. I thought it might have been the Israelis who took it out, but now comes news that India might have taken it out. This is unsubstantiated. Some YouTube channels in India are saying this. I don't have proof. I'm waiting for some sort of proof before I commit to this. But this fact is, it's not some tire bursting of an airplane that caused the fire in Lahore airport. It was air defense systems taken out. Who took it out is the question, Israel or India? That is one of the two eyes. Sir, over to you, China and its games.
Sure, sir. See, this Pahalgam incident, has all the signatures of what Hamas did in Israel. We all know,
yes,
a lot of newspapers covered, right? But would some general in Pakistan ordered this sort of identification and create an unrest without a support of some extra global power? So this is where my conspiracy is. Once again, unsubstantiated. There are a lot of data that comes about, and then you start to correlate to find out. And the deep state, which was controlled by the US, probably China has taken over the deep state, in my opinion. Because the deep state is a term that we use. It is not any state sponsored, or it doesn't belong to US alone. It is a conspiracy theories to use the deep state as a concept. So what China is doing is, they are impacted the most on their economy because of this tariff war. And because of this tariff war, for example, iPhone reduced their production in China and then increased their production in India. Because most of the manufacturing setups in China already started moving during COVID to India, and then some of them already established and then started manufacturing. And there are certain indications one should look at. April, our manufacturing index in India has gone record high. See, normally the PMI, production manufacturing index, when you look at it, it has gone record high, right? And that is an indication that there is a global manufacturing shift is happening slowly. I'm not saying that it is people shut down in China and they came to India, but the shift has already started happening, especially after the tariff war started between US and China. And China worries a lot that if this continues, if that stalemate continues, US definitely would go for a supply chain, alternate supply chain. And India was willing to do a negotiation on most of the things, except to protect some of their, internal or indigenous manufacturing they want to protect. But otherwise, India is willing to open up, say, for example, Harley-Davidson duties they were willing to reduce. Likewise, many other duties, India is willing to reduce. and have a conversation with the US regime. And naturally, India is the destination for shifting their manufacturing or a supply chain hub to India. That worries China. The second biggest story of major forces in the world, including UK and some of the other countries, is that in spite of COVID, Indian economy has not stagnated like any other Western economy. It has marched ahead. So which means already India has become an economic superpower. And then, their strength is day in and day out, it is strengthening. So how do you stop India from being a manufacturing hub? How does one stop India from becoming a major force, not just economic superpower, but also political superpower too? Is put India in the back foot. I think that is where, immediately China came to support of India, saying that, we support India, we stand with India, we will support any action India takes. Almost saying that they go into war and then I'm going to support. And the Congress party in India, who's the agent of communist regime in China, I'm going to take this blatantly because we still don't know what is the agreement Rahul Gandhi, the Congress signed with the Communist Party of
Prove us wrong.
China.
Prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong, right? I'm going to take head on the Congress. Congress said openly that we stand with India for any aggressive action they take, but use their handles, something like a Kerala Congress. I don't know if if you can get while we are talking about it, Kerala Congress, where they used chopped off Modi's head and then put that body alone, and then that, I don't know whether they still have it, but Congress, Kerala Congress put out that tweet, right? Something like that. Their their stooge, Congress stooge handles criticize, weaken the country as a whole, but openly come and stand up. And then the CWC, Congress Working Committee, issues a statement, official press release, stating that we should all stand up with the government at the hour of the need and all those blah blah. This is typical CCP. Okay, thank you. I think it's been removed. But if you go to Rahul Shivshankar's tweet, you might have it still, because he has copied and then tweeted. So you might have it still. Let's see. And just typical CCP rule book, playbook. You just support openly, and then start criticizing, opposing at the back. So what would happen? Say, for example, we all want India to go and do a surgical strike, and Pakistan is provoking. What would happen if India even escalates it, forget about as a full-scale war, even as a surgical strike? Pakistan would escalate that into a war. And what is it for Pakistan to lose? Because they are already in the bottommost. There is a sunk ship, and then they are in the bottom of the ocean. They have nothing to lose. And China will jump in with millions of aid and then ammunition, every damn thing else. And then India will have to spend their money, effort, and everything, to wage the war. Eventually, we have won 4 wars against Pakistan. We will win the 5th one also, no doubt about it. Maybe that will have a big decisive to split Pakistan into 3 different countries. All this might happen. But I think the Modi regime and the service heads, our defense and service heads, probably are much, much wiser than us. They would want to strike, if decisively, on our own terms, not at the terms of the world power. Of course, US stands with us, Israel stands with us, every other country says that we are with you, and we will strike only on our own terms. But imagine in this process what India is trying to do. They are actually bleeding Pakistan economically, because they are making Pakistan to live in an emergency. This is the one. Thanks, Sachin. This is the one. Look at the narrative that INC India's handle is doing? Is it a service to the nation? And then immediately they go, the CWC puts up a notice saying that, oh, we stand with the country. It's not Kerala Congress, but direct Congress ID itself, right? So what is that? We are going, if we are going to strike at our own terms, what are we doing today? Pakistan is in a red alert for last 1 week, 10 days. Sree Iyerji, they are on a highest alert.
They're dying every night.
They're dying every night. Imagine, I think, our military friends would be able to put the value of it. It's not easy to be on an amber alert. It costs significant amount of money. And being on red alert is going to bleed you like anything. Because everybody has to be alert. You need to be battle ready. You need to fuel all your jets. You need to fuel your missiles. See, because missiles are not already fueled, you have to fuel it just before the usage. And once you have fueled it, removing the fuel is not going to be easy task. It is a wastage. Eventually, it is a wastage. And it cannot be permanently fueled and then kept, right? It's all the complications of being in a war. So what they can Pakistan best can do is at the border post, they can keep firing their guns and then ammunition. Other than that, they are in a red alert, which costs them millions and millions of dollars each day. Whereas India can afford that. Number one. Number two, we are not in a preemptive strike mode. We'll wait our chances. Maybe even 1 month, make them to be in a red alert mode. That's going to bleed their economy significantly. And then, they need to scale down to amber alert. They need to scale down to normalcy. You can go and hit them 2 months down the line. Nothing wrong. So India will choose a moment that's suitable for us. More importantly, I think what India would do is they will win the war without firing a missile or a gun. That's what their plan is. Closure of airspace, isolating Pakistan to the core, stopping the Indus Water Treaty. That's a huge, because everybody immediately said, what's the big deal about it? You don't even have a reservoir to control. No, we do have a reservoir to control. And, from Tibet to Pakistan, before it flows, it takes about 3 or 4 days, Sree Iyer, if a flood is coming. According to the treaty, the moment we see a higher increase in water flow, we need to inform Pakistan. Stay quiet. Simple as that. They are going to get washed away. Because by the time it reaches our border to Pakistan, they have a very little notice for them to react to it.
Yeah.
And they cannot be just watching everything using a satellite image. That's going to cost them money. So that's why they rely on your neighboring country to give the early warnings, because it's going to be 3-4 days before it reaches. So they could do an evacuation plan, and then they could do every other plan. They can put together, emergency plan put together. Today, you decide to drought them for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we have the capacity to do it. And then immediately flood them, we have the capacity to do it. Of course, that is a war too. Without firing a bullet, that is a war too. So I think India will take a very decisive, but I don't think India will be ready to escalate this into even a small scale war or a short period war, because it is China wants us to do it, because Congress wants us to do it, because some other world power wants us to do it. India will escalate this only when on our own terms, and then when we can make the maximum impact to them. I think that is where I see, Sree Iyerji, the China's angle. Because the moment we enter into war, China will step into our territory, and then Bangladesh will step into our territory. So it's going to be a three-pronged. And of course, there are going to be a lot of wokes and liberals in this country who will start shouting at their peak of their voice, trying to create a ruckus in the country. I think that's what China wants. See, when that happens, it is going to push back India by about 5-6 years to come on, back on its own foot, and then start marching ahead economically. And most of the manufacturing industries, which is supposed to moving, or support at least the supply chain is moving to India, will think twice because of risks that it is going to involve. If there is a war going to happen, then what are the risks of the supply chain? Everything, it will stall. I think India knows that far well. And then Modi has a far better advisors who can actually advise him when to go and hit and how to go and hit. I think that is where I want to leave a thought with people that maybe this incident itself or this terrorist attack itself was at the behest of China. And that's what, it shows. And the way the Congress is reacting unusually. Sree Iyerji, I want to use this word, unusually supporting the government. They have never supported the government on any action, right? They even challenged the Balakot strike. They even challenged the surgical strike, saying that they didn't believe it. But here they are supporting, which means then there is some other conspiracy that is playing out. So prove us wrong. That's all my challenge to the Congress is.
Well, thank you, sir. Let's take some questions. We have 7 questions. We're not going to add any more. We are sorry. We are only going to take a few questions because we have a back-to-back Tamil program following this one. Sir, if you don't mind, 1 minute per question, sir, and that way we can finish it with a few minutes to spare. Let's go with the first one. Thank you so much for MS for becoming a YouTube member. Magnet Ranga wants to know, Namaskaram, who is controlling the ecosystem pushing for immediate war on Pakistan? While Pak should be and will be taught a lesson, the time, place, method, etc. should be left to the planners.
I think the ecosystem probably is controlled by China, and they are using the CCP playbook to destabilize India. I'm sure that's why now I challenge Congress to prove the conspiracy theory wrong. I think that's where it is, and definitely India will decide time, place, method on our own terms, rather than being succumb to the popular pressure, or even people call that 56-inch leader and then spineless. Do whatever you want. I think India will take its own do it in its own term rather than being influenced.
Next one, please. Babji Krishnan wants to know, sir, does politics deserve Annamalai? Did he place his faith in the wrong party and individuals?
I think let's talk about it in Tamil. He deserves politics deserves people like Annamalai. And I think, a lot of people, the social media warriors are saying that we will vote for Nota, blah, 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 and all. I think, I think Annamalai will have to rein in to stop this negative campaign. And he put his faith on the right party, and he is not irreplaceable. I think people should accept that. If the people who brought him into politics in Tamil Nadu decide to remove him from the post, he has not been fired. He has not been taken any action or something like that. He has not been, troubled. He just removed from Tamil Nadu BJP presidentship, and then maybe he may get his own things when in appropriate time. I think this is a very, very wrong attitude of Annamalai supporters, in my opinion.
Next one, please. Rohit Akshay wants to know, how will the GOI tackle the 0.5% war that needs to be fought with our own seculars? Hyper-secularism is ruining Bharat. Do you think population exchange could be a solution?
I didn't know what is the population exchange. It is probably that question. But hyper-secularism definitely is ruining the country. I think somehow the caste census all will throw some light into it. And I think government of India fighting the narrative has always been weak for last 11 years, at least from the party side. Just imagine the question asked by Amit Malviya. I want to take 30 seconds to talk about it. Amit Malviya asked, when we found so many Pakistani nationals having Indian passport, Aadhaar card and all, and they got it into 1997-98 time frames, he asked the question to Congress saying that you have been, bringing all the aliens into the country and all these stuff, right? He put a question. I think people are going to ask a question back to him saying that what the hell were you doing for 11 years? Yes, people did come into country. You are given visa. They are staying illegally. Don't you have those data for 11 years? You should have gone, after them, and then because they are all staying illegally without a visa, they overstayed their visa. One should take action. I think that is where the fighting a narrative war by the government of India or the party that is in power is very, very weak, in my opinion.
Next one, please. Pawan Kishore wants to know, will caste census lead to increase in reservation quota, thereby affecting general category? Will this not ruin merit in the country and encourage more brain drain?
Pawan, I don't think so. This can be, the reservation can be increased without nullifying the constitutional bench judgment in 𝗓𝗏𝗏 case. Unless otherwise that is done, it will stay at 49.5%. And the moment someone touches that, it is going to create a huge ruckus in the country. I don't think any ruler, forget about BJP. If Congress is in power, they will dare not touch that percentage at this point in time, because they are sitting in the opposition. They are just crying foul. But actually, if they are in power also, they will not touch it. So, in my opinion, without nullifying the 𝗓𝗏𝗏 case constitutional bench judgment, cannot increase even 1%.
Next question, please. Srinivas Kambhampati wants to know, Namaste, Mr. Sriram. Namaste, Mr. Sree Iyer. What happens if quality education is provided to all? Why are government deliberately not doing this?
That's actually, education is in the state subject. Quality education is being still provided. Even in Tamil Nadu, I will talk about it, but the state syllabus is bad, is strengthened a lot. But government schools, I would say about 10 to 20% of the schools are still brilliantly functioning. 80% in dilapidated condition, no doubt about it, and not reaching out to the masses. And unless otherwise you remove the education system from the clutches of politicians. Today, who are running the educational institutions, Srinivas-ji? It is the politicians. Be it a school, be it a college, majority of the private schools are run by, politicians. And they are the people who are sitting and forming the policies. So we should understand that unless otherwise the clutches are removed, I don't think quality education is possible. In spite of that, there is a significant amount of quality education that is being provided, but is it equally given to everybody is where the question is.
Ramesh Magadi wants to know, sir, doing the caste census is a forward-looking step, keeping India as a developed country. It's more of a political decision, isn't it?
It definitely is a political decision, because it just takes away one narrative that the opposition has against this government. So they don't have anything else to talk about it, but use this as a tool for maybe a step towards the NRC, step towards the residence register, step towards reframing your reservation policies. So definitely it's a big political decision.
Next one, please. Thank you, Mini. Sir, Supreme Court put a stay on Pakistan illegal stay in Bharat. How do you see it? Did they put that?
Yeah, they did. Yesterday, there was a case that was argued that, there's a set of people, one person who came to India in 1994 or 96 or sometime, surrendered his Pakistani passport and then took a SARC visa and then stayed in the country. Today, he has a Indian passport, Aadhaar card, voter ID card, and then his sons and daughters or 4 siblings are educated, employed in India. And then India identified them, asked them to move. So he moved to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court denied to stay there. So they said that we don't know what is the veracity of your documentation. Is it legal, or it is duplicate, or it is forged? We don't know. And hence they asked them to go to the authorities. They are given the time. That is the crux of the case. But at the same time, J&K High Court has stayed one person from, because there was one person who was even in a police force of J&K, a Pakistani national working in Jammu and Kashmir police, right? And hence they stayed, and that guy has been staying there for about India for 40 years or so. After independence, they came back. Some of them came back and then decided to stay here. But there are several people who came to India, Sree Iyerji, decided to stay, fine, because we allowed. Because after the partition, where whoever went from India, we allowed people to come back. But they remained as a Pakistani citizen. They didn't want to change their citizenship to India. That is where the problem is, and hence they need to be deported. And if Atari border is closed for them to be shipped to Pakistan, then we should create a maybe camp and then the detention camp for them and then put them there, and then they should not get any other benefit from India. I think that should be the decisive action from the government. And yes, just before this show, I saw news from Tamil Nadu, Sree Iyerji. There's in this crackdown in Coimbatore or Tirupur, there was one Bangladeshi Muslim who owns 7 or 8 shops. Came to India, came to Tamil Nadu, married a local, has an Aadhaar card and then ration card, everything, but couldn't get a citizenship. He has been trying for a citizenship, spent about 15-20 lakhs for getting a citizenship, here, but he couldn't get it, and he was detained last night, if not wrong. So I think something good is happening in this case. People are unearthing all the illegals. I think illegals either should be repatriated to their countries or put them in a asylum camp.
Thank you so much, sir. And that brings us to a close of today's program. We'll be back in a few minutes in Tamil. Do join us again. Namaskar. Namaskar.